Okay, we're live. Welcome to the live. Share the live with everyone. And turn to the camera. Good, because we're on. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey, Neek. Let me know if you can hear me. Good, perfect. Does it sound clear? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Perfect. I'm just waiting for maybe a couple of people to come in and then we can go ahead and start. And put some music on that's not gonna get copywritten. It's the only thing I don't like is copywritten music. Well, the music gets copywritten and yeah, they trip off of that. So, yeah. Ooh, it's hot. Okay. Welcome everybody that's in the live. Hello, hello, hello. I just was waiting for a couple of more people to come in the live. But if you guys don't know, my name is Tavia Garland. I am a commercial beauty photographer and professional makeup artist here in Los Angeles, California. And today what we will be doing is we will be actually doing a makeup application, and then you'll be watching the process of me going from makeup to shooting beauty photography. So that is what is going on today. This is my model, Ayana. She is a signed model here in Los Angeles. She is signed to Bella Agency. And Yana, how long have you been modeling for?
I think it's been a while, a long time, like, I don't know, like 12, 14?
I think you're like 14 years old when you started modeling for a long time, yeah. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Today we're going to be doing like a bronzy type of look. Normally we'll do like a skincare type of look, or we'll do like a glam, but since we are heading into our summer solstice, which is going to be taking place on Sunday the 21st, I wanted to do something bronzy, glowy, something that you will wear on vacation, something that you will wear to the beach, or if you're going somewhere tropical. That's what I wanted the look to be. Don't forget to share this live and also like this live, heart this live. The more likes and more hearts that we get, the more that the live is pushed out, and I would really, really appreciate it. So we're about to get started. Yana, let's see your hands. I'm actually gonna have you put on, did you bring strapless?
No, I can take these off though.
Okay, not yet. I'm gonna have you put moisturizer on. Put it on your arms. There we go. There we go, perfect. Hey everybody that just came in. Thanks. Perfect. Here, let me give you a little bit more. I'm giving Yana the moisturizer now because I want it to really set in for when we go ahead and do the photo shoot, when we start shooting. So I want to make sure that it's nice and set in. It takes about an hour to do the makeup. And by then the moisturizer will have set in. Yana, actually let me see your hands because I'm gonna have you clean your hands. Perfect. And I just sprayed Yana's hands with alcohol because she's gonna do a little bit of work herself today. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna get started with Yana's skincare. That's what we are gonna be doing. And I'm gonna be using Bioderma to cleanse her skin. And you guys should know me by now. I pretty much deep hot everything. Can you see? There we go. Can you see? Oh, it's blurry there. I like to deep hot everything. I don't like keeping everything in its original component, and it's because it takes too much space in my kit and it makes my kit extremely heavy. So yeah. So I'm using Bioderma to cleanse Yana's skin. Turn towards me. Perfect. And this is gonna get any dirt, debris, oil, anything that is not great, look up for me, off of her skin. Perfect. And it's just a micellar water. Oh, I forgot, you're ticklish. Forgot. So that was the first thing that we did. And I'm gonna let that dry down just a little bit because the next thing that we're gonna be using is we're gonna be using a toner. And with this particular toner, we wanna make sure that everything is dried down before we go ahead and use the toner. Now, Yana, what is your skin type? Are you dry, oily, combination oily, or combination dry?
Combination dry for sure.
You're combination dry. So that means we're gonna need things that are hydrating to the skin because we don't want Yana to have any dry patches during this photo shoot. So hopefully that should have dried down now. Next, I'm gonna be using Bioderma. Let's see, can we focus? Can we focus? Can we focus? What's going on? I'm trying to see why my camera is not focusing. Let's see. Okay, there we go. We're going to be using Bioderma. And this is a toner, and this toner is an AHA glycolic acid toning solution. So, and it has rose water. So it is going to literally do a light exfoliation on Yana's skin because she has dry skin. And we want to make sure that we get any patches, any dryness off her skin. Please, please, please do not put this underneath your eyes. Turn towards me. You could put this everywhere else besides underneath the eye. Perfect. Just make sure it's good. Great. Perfect. And that'll dry a little bit. And one thing I like about this toner, it has rose water in it, so it's gonna give it a little bit of a glow. And we always like to make sure that the skin looks nice and glowy. Not dewy, but glowy. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna apply an under eye cream, and I'm actually gonna let Ayana do this part herself. So let me see your ring fingers. So you're gonna rub them together. And you're gonna tap, yes, underneath the eye. And what Yana is using is the Global Beauty Care Lift and Firm Eye Cream with collagen and peptides. And one thing I like about this particular eye cream, and I'll show you in a minute, is that it doesn't leave any dry patches underneath the eye. And then also what it does is it kind of helps plump the skin and smooth the skin out. And peptides are always great for the skin. I know it's like bright, so you probably won't be able to see this. I don't know what's going on with this today, but why are we not able to see what's going on? Where are we at? We're at 5K. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Sorry guys, I had to adjust the camera back. So I'm trying to figure out why. And it could be that we have a lot of bright light on her. So I'm going to take it down just a teeny bit. There we go. Take it down to about 80. Perfect. I don't know why you guys can't see how. But anywho, that's the eye cream that we're using. So the next thing that we're going to use is we're going to use a moisturizer. And the moisturizer that we're going to be using is the Dermacell Whipped Recovery Cream. Now, whipped recovery cream. I'm tongue-tied today. And if you guys have been on my lives before, let's see your hands. If you've been on my lives before, then you know that this is something that I recently discovered that I love. You're going to press and push it into the skin. And that's an important thing. It's always important for you to press and push your moisturizer into the skin, avoiding the under eye area because you've already done the eye cream. But pushing and pressing it into the skin really helps the moisturizer absorb. Especially if you are on set, and this is for our makeup artists. Sometimes makeup artists, you do not have time to let it set. So the best thing to do is to really push and press. And this is why I have the model go ahead and push and press it into the skin. And it's because they know their own pressure points and they know how firm you are. They know how firm they are with their own hands versus you. You don't know how firm or how sensitive their skin is. And this is the, let's see. I don't know if you guys can see it. What's going on? There we go. That is the cream that we're using, and it's the Dermacell Whipped Recovery Cream. Let's see if I can actually change this. Hold on. Making a couple of adjustments, guys. Sorry. Because I want you guys to be able to really see the products. And you know, normally I'm not like a super huge product person, but for this one I actually want you guys to be able to see that. Let's see. Oops, sorry. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, let's see if you're able to see it, if it's focusing. It's still not focusing. It's really interesting today. Normally we're good on the focusing. Anywho, next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead. Yana, did you exfoliate your lips?
Not today. No.
Okay. So we're gonna get Yana to exfoliate her lips. I'm gonna have her actually wipe off whatever's on her lip here. And lip exfoliation is extremely, extremely, extremely important. And it's because sometimes your lips get chapped, they get dry, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that your lips are nice and hydrated. And whether it's you shooting yourself or whether, photographing yourself, or whether it is a photo shoot that you are on and you're photographing a model, you need to make sure that the model's lips and even yourself are exfoliated. And it's because we want nice, smooth lips. We don't want any type of chappedness at all. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use an exfoliator on her lips. And I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. lip exfoliator, excuse me. This is, there we go. That's what we're going to be using today. I'm going to give Yana, here you go. It's on. And use your finger. And make sure the model and even yourself goes around in circles on your lips with your finger. Scrub, scrub, scrub in small circles. And it's to really make sure you're getting any dead skin cells off, period. Thank you. Hey, Bree. There we go. Perfect. Great. So now what we need to do is that can't stay on her lips. It has to come off. So we're going to use that same micellar water that we used. And we're going to have her wipe it off. That is what we're going to do. Let's find some music. You got it off, Yana?
Yes. Okay,
here, hand it to me. Perfect. So now after we go ahead and do that, we're going to go ahead and add a moisturizer, or actually a lip mask that I like to use. I like using the Trader Joe's vanilla lip mask. Let's see. Oh, what's going on with the focus? Sorry guys, the focus is not focusing for some reason today, and I have no idea what's going on with that. But it is the Trader Joe's vanilla lip mask. Here you go. Perfect.
I really like this one too.
Yeah, I like that one as well, and I like it because it's not super expensive. It's supposed to be like the dupe for the Laneige sleep mask. So I really like that one a lot. Perfect. So now Yana has all her moisturizers on, her eye cream on. We've done her toners, we've done everything to her skin. So now what we would need to do is, it's going to be time, because we've done all the skin prep. Now what we need to do is, it's going to be time to do her foundation. Now before we even do her foundation, what I like to go ahead and do is I like to take a 2-ply tissue. I'm going to do this to every single client, whether they have dry, oily, or combination skin. I like to take a 2-ply tissue and I like to blot their skin off. Reason being is that sometimes the moisturizers and products that you put on your client's face, your model's face, or even your own face doesn't absorb, especially if you don't have time to let your moisturizer sit. If this is your own makeup, you should be letting your moisturizer sit 5 to 10 minutes, period. Like, you should let it sit 5 to 10 minutes. But if you are literally working on a client that doesn't have 5 to 10 minutes to spare, or you're on a shoot that doesn't have 5 to 10 minutes to spare, then this is what you'll need to do, because it's going to actually help the foundation go on smooth. So I'm just going to take the 2-ply tissue and blot her face. And this absorbs, like I say, any excess moisturizers, eye creams, anything that literally did not absorb. Perfect. Get in your eyebrows as well. Perfect. And because Yana doesn't have an oily T-zone, she actually has like dry combination skin. We don't need to put any primers on. I know everyone feels like you need to put primers on all the time, but you don't. You don't. I only like really using primers for people who have oily skin or oily combination skin. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to prep Yana's eyebrows. And this is something that I like to do before we even do foundation. And it's just makes it a lot easier so that the eyebrows can be prepped when it's time to do them. And so then also we don't get any foundation in the product in the brows and then have a problem getting flaky foundation off the brows. So what I like to do is I like to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow freeze. And whenever you're using this product or any products, make sure that you are not using the actual component. You are actually using a disposable wand. So I'm going to be using a disposable wand to prep her brows. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going the opposite direction of the way that her brow hairs grow first. And this is literally to get the product in. And then I'm going to be going the direction her actual brow hairs grow. And this is actually going to help set her brow. Turn towards me. So remember, opposite direction of the way her brow hairs grow. And then go back in the direction of her actual brow hair. Turn to the camera. And then what I like to do to really make the brow hairs lay down, I like to take the end of this spoolie and press down on the brow, smooth the brow down. Some people don't need this because they actually have pretty thick brows, but Yana has a sparseness at the end of her brow, and I just want to make sure that everything literally is smooth. So turn towards me. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Perfect. Turn towards the camera. And you should let this dry. It takes about a minute to dry. Like, it takes about a minute to dry. So while that is drying, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be prepping Yana's foundation. Because we're doing like a bronzy, glowy type of look, we're going to be using our tried and true Soft Glam Satin Foundation by, who's this by? By e.l.f. That's right, it's by e.l.f. And let's take a look and see what shade she's gonna be. I think I need to grab another shade. Yana, have you been outside or no?
A little. A little. I mean, not like the beach or anything crazy.
So you haven't really tanned so far?
No.
Okay. Good. Good. So this is your actual, like, I guess you could say spring winter. Your spring winter color? Okay. Good. Sorry guys, you're gonna hear my puppy barking, because that's what she does whenever somebody moves or does anything. Let's see, what color? And I have backups. So this is 42. You don't need 31, we need 42. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. I had to grab another shade because I only had 2 shades of the foundation, and those shades were not gonna match. They weren't gonna match Ayana. So I needed to grab another shade of my backup velvet. Shh, please, thank you. Sorry, my puppy barks at very random things. And I don't know why she's barking now. Like, that's just what she does. Pooh. Please. Thanks. I don't know. She sees random stuff. Anyway. We're going to be using, like I said, the... Let's see. Can you see? Is it focusing? I don't know why it's not focusing today, guys. Normally, we're good to go and it's focusing. But for some reason, it's not focusing. Scoot back. Other way. There we go. Perfect. So, like I said, we're using the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation on Yana. And what I like about this is it's like a medium buildable coverage. And it's supposed to be long lasting. I'm going to be using the color 42 on Yana. And we may have to do some color correcting on her. But before we go ahead and do that, because we're doing like a bronzy, glowy look on Yana, I'm going to be actually putting a little bit of a glowy highlighter on her first. And we're going to be doing it on the high planes of her face. And I'm actually going to be mixing the two colors together. Yeah, I don't know why. What's going on today? There. Those are the two colors that we're going to be mixing together. And this is actually by Ruby and Millie, New York. It's actually the dupe of like the Glow Lotion by L'Oreal. And you guys know when I do makeup, I like to go ahead and use things that are good for the pockets, because right now everything is expensive. And so sometimes you can't, you know, purchase the most expensive items. So you want to go ahead and use things that are actually good and can work and that are cost effective. And you guys know me, I like to go ahead and I like to use a palette when I'm working. I like to use a palette when I'm working because I can mix everything on this palette. So where I'm going to place this is I'm going to place it on the high planes of her cheekbones. Turn this way for me. And I'm just placing it on the high planes of the cheekbones. And I'm putting it on first because we want like a lit from within type of glowy feel. That's what we want. Remember, we want her to look like she's been on the beach. We want her to look like that she's been on the island. And a lot of the times when you come off the beach, turn towards me, you have a nice glow, but it's not a powdery glow. Perfect. There we go. Turn to this camera. And it's super, 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 super glowy, which is good. That's what we want. If you want extra glow, which I don't really want to do that with Ayana, you can actually put this in your foundation and you can mix it together so that it'll give you even more of that dewy glow that a lot of people like to have. So before we go ahead and actually completely apply Ayana's foundation, what we're going to do is we're actually going to test the foundation color and see if this is the correct tone and if this is the correct shade. Which I'm turn that way. So this is a little bit too light for Ayana. So we're going to take an even deeper shade, which is going to be number 53. And we're going to mix it into the foundation that we have already. Remember, that was 42 we originally used, and this is 53. And both of these are neutral colors. These are neutral colors. And I always like to have neutral colors in my kit, because what I can do is, if Yana's face is warm, I can warm it up with a color corrector. If her face is cool tone, I can cool it down with a color corrector. Turn towards the camera. Turn towards that way. Perfect. So yeah, there we go. So with me mixing it, it's a pretty good tone. Turn towards the camera, but it looks a little bit too neutral. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow into, the foundation, and I'm gonna be using the LA Girl, this is crazy, using the LA Girl Pro Color Foundation mix. That's what I'm gonna be using, and I'm gonna be mixing it into her foundation, just so that the tone will be closer to her actual skin tone. Perfect. There we go. Now let's see. Okay. That's better. So now I'm going to be taking an actual separate brush, and I'm actually going to be applying with this particular brush. And it's going to be the e.l.f. Stain and Tint blending brush that I'm going to be using. Perfect. And I'm not going to be taking this all the way up underneath the eye. And it's because that's where our concealer is going to go. You don't want a cakey under eye. So don't put your foundation underneath there. And we're just going to go on the forehead. And Yana actually has pretty even skin. So I wouldn't even need to do a darker color on her. There we go. I have a piece of hair from her brush. There we go. On Yana. Had to get it off. Above her lip. Turn towards me. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but Ayana actually has a couple of beauty marks on her face, which is absolutely fine because we'll be able to cover those. But the foundation actually is doing a pretty good job of covering it in itself. Turn towards me. But if we need just an extra, turn towards the camera. If we need an extra, a little bit of coverage, I'll just take a concealer and spot conceal those areas. Turn towards me one more time. There we go. And to make sure that everything matches, you want to take the rest of the foundation and go down the neck just to make sure that everything is blended chin up. And we want to make sure that Ayana's foundation matches her neck and her chest. Her neck and her chest are actually a little bit darker than her body, or excuse me, than her face. And we just want to make sure everything blends perfectly. Camera, there we go, perfect. So now everything is blended, chin down, there we go. Everything is pretty blended, and she still looks really glowy. She still looks very, 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 very dewy. So now we have her foundation on. The thing that we're going to work on next is her eyebrows. I'm going to be putting on my little powder puffs that I like to put on my ring finger and on my thumb finger. And it's because when I'm working on brows, you're gonna, if you're really working on them, you're gonna have a tendency to touch your client or your makeup, your client or your model's skin. And I don't want to get my actual hands on her skin, so I'm going to be putting on powder puffs to avoid that. I'm going to be using a actual eyeshadow, well, not an eyeshadow, a brow powder, and it is the Morphe brow powder, and it's in the color Java, and that's what I'm going to be using. And I like to do this step first, and it's because I like to actually sculpt Ayana's brows, and I'll do this pretty much with every client if they need it. Every client doesn't need brow sculpting, brow shaping, or even filling in of the brow, but Ayana actually needs her brows filled in. So I'm going to be using an angled brush. That's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be actually spraying the brush with a setting mist, and it's by a company called Well People, and it's the Do Your Makeup Mist. That's what it is that I'm going to be utilizing. And it's to change the texture of the powder. It almost turns it into like a paste, and I'm not one to really be using like a brow pomade because sometimes those are a little bit too thick. I like using a brow powder and then spraying it because I have a little bit more control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be starting on the bottom of Yana's brow, and I'm going to be starting actually where the front of her brow is, and I'm just going to be drawing a line underneath her brow into the tail of her brow. And it's because I'm creating the shape that I want, and I'm not creating a new shape at all. This is the shape of Ayana's brows, and we want to keep it that way. Perfect, there we go. And it's literally just shaping her brow, and it's what her real brow looks like. And I'm just dipping back in, and I'm going on the tail end of the brow and really just shaping and filling in and going above her brow and filling it in. But just the ends. I'm not going in the inner part of her brow or the front of her brow. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Dip it into the brow powder, spray my brush, turn towards me. Start at the front. And don't worry if you get too much. You can always take a spoolie, turn towards me. You can always take a spoolie and diffuse it. But I'm just creating the shape of the brow. Really, I'm creating the tail end of Ayana's brow, to be honest with you. And I'm filling in the end of the brow. There we go. Turn towards. And like I said, if it's too much, chin down. There we go. If it's too much, just take a spoolie, turn towards me, and blend it out. Brush it up and blend it out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking an actual brow pencil, and I'm going to be taking the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in the color Java. And I'm going to be filling in her brow from the tail all the way to right before the front of the brow. And I'm doing small strokes because we want to mimic brow hairs. And remember, this look is supposed to be her beachy, bronzy look. And if you pay attention, the color is actually one shade, which way be this way, there we go. One shade lighter than Yana's actual brow. You never want to go the same color or darker than your model or your client's brow. And it's because it can age them, and it also can make them look quite angry, and we don't want to go ahead and do that. She's still young. We want her to still look vivacious. Always equate brows to Disney princesses and villains. The villains have really dark eyebrows and they're thin. The Disney princesses have lighter shade of eyebrows and they have a tendency to be thicker. Turn towards me. So we're going to be filling the other brow. We'll be filling in the other brow. And we're just doing light strokes. And that's it. And remember, we're not going all the way to the front of the brow. We are only stopping at 3/4 of the brow. So I'm going to be taking another brow pencil, and I'm going to be taking it actually in a shade lighter than the brow pencil that we just used, which is the color Latte. And like I said, if you feel like you went a little too heavy, just take a spoolie and brush it up and diffuse it. So now we're going to be taking the color Latte, and we're going to be filling in the front of Ayana's brow. And we're going the same direction that her brow hairs grow. So Yana's brow hair in the front grows up, so we're going to be doing strokes that are upward. Her other brow hairs were going basically back and down. And we're just going up and we're doing light strokes. And it's because we want a gradient. We want a gradient brow. We don't want a boxy brow. And you need to step back at times and look at your work. Because sometimes when you're up close on a client, you can't see. There we go. Step back, turn towards me. And I'm just going in the direction that Ayana's brow grows. And remember, small strokes. Look at me. And if you feel like you need to do anything or change anything, I may go in with another color that's going to be in between those two colors. Hazelnut. We're going to try hazelnut. towards me. And remember, this is makeup. Like, you can always change it. There we go. Perfect. And like I said, step back, take a look at your work. And if you feel like it's a little too much in the front, just go in with the spoolie and blend it out. Turn towards me. Perfect. If anybody has any questions so far, just put them in the chat and I'll go ahead and answer them. The next thing that we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and do Ayana's eyes. And if you've been on my live before, you guys know that I love using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer as an eyeshadow base. And that's what I'm going to be using today. And I think I'm going to be using like 2 colors today. Because I don't want the colors to be exactly the color of Ayana's skin tone. I actually want it to be a little bit lighter this time. So I'm going to be actually using 2 different shades of this Camo Concealer. And before I do that, I'm going to take a 2-ply tissue. And I'm going to go ahead and blot off her actual eyes. Close for me. And I do this because sometimes people's, turn towards me, eyes have a tendency to be oily. Their eyelids and the creases of their eyes have a tendency to be oily. And turn toward the camera. And I want to make sure that everything is smooth and lays down nicely. So I'm going to be using an actual angled brush. And I'm going to be actually carving out the brow, but I'm not going to be carving the top of the brow. I'm going to be carving the bottom of the brow. And I see a lot of people carving the top of the brow, and that's what creates a boxy brow, and we don't do that over here. We like to make sure that the brows have a nice soft feel to them. So I'm going to be using an angled concealer brush to go ahead and shape the brow underneath. I think I want to use, and remember with these camo concealers, once they dry down, they oxidize, meaning it gets darker. So just be careful that you're not using too dark of a shade or too light of a shade. Close for me, Ayana. So we're going to be starting at the front of the brow and just carving underneath her eyebrow. And then blending it downwards into the crease. And what this does is it makes her brow super clean, and that's what we want. We want a super, super, super clean brow. So then what I like to take next is I like to take an angled concealer brush and just blend it out. Pat it down. There we go. Close your eye for me. And then I'll dip in and I'll go on her actual eyelid. And this is gonna act as a base for her eyeshadow. And remember guys, to like the live, the more likes we have on this live, the more people get to see this live and learn all of these techniques. Perfect. Open for me. There we go. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other eye. turn towards me. We're gonna start at the front of the brow, sculpt underneath. There we go. And if you make a mistake, which I did, you can always go back and you can always fix it. And I'm just blending down into the crease. And we're gonna take that same concealer brush and just blend. Scoop. There we go. Yeah. And just blend. And if you guys don't know how to like the live, all you have to do is just tap your screen on your on your phone. If you are watching on a computer, all you have to do is just press the letter L. And there we go. We're just putting all of this on Ayana's lid. That's what we're doing. Open for me. Perfect. Turn towards me. Close. We're just making sure everything is literally blended out. Perfect. Back to the camera. So now what I like to do is I actually like to take a sponge, and I like to make sure that this is even more blended out, because remember, we want a nice smooth eyeshadow blend. So I'm gonna take a pink sponge. I'm gonna wet the sponge. Give me a second. There we go. Perfect. So I went ahead and I wet a pink sponge. But what I like to do is I like to take a paper towel and I like to squeeze the sponge with the paper towel. Because this gets out any excess water. The problem is a lot of people are having too wet of a sponge. So by doing this, it really takes out any excess water, which stops from over blending your foundation, your eyeshadow, any of those kinds of things, right? So now that we have our sponge, close for me, I'm gonna be blending out her eyeshadow. I mean, her concealer as her base. Turn towards me. Perfect. There we go. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually set her eyeshadow because we want a smooth application. And we're gonna be using the MCO Beauty Miracle Flawless Pressed Powder. And we're gonna be using it in the color or the shade 3. And I love using these because it's a dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury's Flawless Powder. You know, Charlotte Tilbury is a little expensive, honey, and sometimes you can't, you know, afford that. So you have to use something that is equivalent and can work. So I'm gonna be taking a small brush and I'm gonna be using it to set. And I feel like with brushes, you can control more. I know a lot of people like to use powder puffs, but sometimes they get a little messy and get everything all over the place. Close for me. And I'm just pressing it all over her eye. And this is literally just setting that concealer so that we can have a smooth base for her eyeshadow. Turn towards me. We're just pressing it. Scoot that way. There we go. Turn towards me. There. Perfect. Camera. So now the eyes are ready and set for eyeshadow. So the eyeshadow palette that we're going to be using, and we used this last week on Anne. We're going to be using the Juvia's Place Coffee Shop palette. And I've only used this palette like twice, so this will be my third time using it. The first time I used it on a client who was going to a red carpet event. She actually went to the Hollywood Unlocked red carpet event last weekend, and then last week we used this on Anne. So this week we're going to be using it on Ayana, and I want to try it on a different skin tone. So the color that we're going to go ahead and use is we're going to be using this color, and I'm going to be using a Makeup Shack T70 brush, and we're going to go in her crease. Close for me.
It's a really pretty palette.
Yeah, it is. It is a really, really pretty palette. You can get it off of their website, or you can go to Ulta and get it. Close. So I'm going to start in the crease, and I'm going to do windshield wiper motions, but I'm going to do circular windshield wiper motions, and this helps blend out the actual eyeshadow. And we're starting off with a soft color. And this is really pretty. It almost emulates the same skin tone as Ayana. Gorgeous. Open for me. There we go. Pretty. And what I like is, close. I like the fact that this eyeshadow is buildable. And it's pigmented enough for deeper skin tones. Open for me. Gorgeous. Turn towards me. Close. And remember, we're just going in windshield wiper motions circularly. And that helps blends out the eyeshadow. It stops it from being streaky. Perfect. Turn towards the camera. Great. So the next shade that I'm going to go ahead and use is I'm going to be using this shade right here in the palette. And I'm going to be using a Hakuhodo brush, and I'm going to be using a B142. I'm dipping into the palette. As you guys can see, it's very pigmented. Always make sure you tap off the excess. Close for me. And I'm going to be going on the outer V of Ayana's eye. And as you can see, this is extremely pigmented. And don't be afraid of this. Open for me. Makeup actually doesn't show up all the way under lights. Lights take up 30% of makeup. Close. So it may look like it's a bit much from the naked eye, but when you're doing a photo shoot, those lights take up 30% of the makeup. Gorgeous. So now we're gonna go and we're gonna do this on the opposite side. Turn towards me. And if you pay attention, I'm going on Yana's lash line, and I'm going a little bit in her crease, not completely in her crease, but just a little bit in her crease. I'm creating like a V shape. And I'm still doing it in the circular motions and still blending, and I'm blending towards the inner portions of her eye. Scoot this way, Turn towards me, there we go. Perfect. If you're just coming in the middle of the live, then you know that we are going to be doing a bronzy, glowy look, and that's what we're doing on Yana right now. And we're actually doing her eyes. So the next color we're doing is this color down here, and we're using a Makeup Shack T63 brush. Actually, no, we don't want to use that one, not yet. We're going to use a Hakuhodo brush, and we're going to be using a Hakuhodo J140 brush. Close for me. And we're just going on the very outer corners of the eye. Almost similar to what we did last week. Perfect. We're just going on the very outer corners, and we're doing a V. Turn towards that way, Anna. This way. Here we go. Close. Perfect. Open. There. Looks good. And you always want to step back and look at your work. Turn towards me. Close. Scoot that way. There we go. And we're just doing just a small V on the outer corner of her eyelid. Perfect. Turn towards. And what I like to do sometimes is I like to go back in with the brush, close, with the crease brush, and kind of blend everything all over. Perfect. Turn towards me. Perfect. Turn towards the camera. Great. So, next step, what I like to do is, I think I want to use an eyeshadow stick this time. And I want to use a Sephora colorful shadow stick and liner, and I'm going to be using it in the color Copper Shimmer. And what you always want to do is you can either take the product with a brush and apply it on, or you can actually apply the stick directly to the client's eye. Just make sure that you are taking a alcohol and spraying it and cleaning it and sanitizing it, because that is extremely, extremely important, and that's what we're doing today. Close for me. And we're just gonna go on the center of Yana's lid to the inner corner of her eye.
Who'd you say that was by?
So this is by Sephora. It's the Sephora collection, and it is the shadow stick and liner, and it is in the color Copper Shimmer. And it's letting us know we've been on live for some time now. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. I got it. Don't worry. So now what I like to do is I like to go ahead and take another brush. I'll take another eyeshadow brush, and I like to take like a blended like a blending brush. There we go. And I like to go ahead and blend out with this actual color. And with these, close for me, I like them because you can really work with these. They don't dry down super fast. Open. They don't dry down super fast, and that's what I like about them. So let's go ahead and do the other eye. Turn towards me. Scoot that way. There we go.
I'm not too much on this way. I feel like I need to lean back.
Oh yeah, no, not lean back, just scoot, yeah. And so remember, I did it to the center, all the way to the inner corner of Ayana's eye. And just blend it out. And remember, we're doing like a bronzy look. Turn towards the camera. There we go. So it's really pretty. Yana has hazel eyes. Sometimes her eyes look green, sometimes they look hazel, and these bronzy colors really look good on her eyes. And if you feel like it's too much shimmer, just go back in with your palette, closed, and go back in the corners and blend that out. Turn towards me. There we go. And we're just taking the same, brushes that we used for her outer corner. Close. And just reapplying. If you feel like it became too much, turn towards me. Close. Perfect. There we go. So now, because we want to add even more of a pop to this look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add an eyeshadow color from the palette. Be adding this color. I'm going to be using my actual finger, and yes, my fingers are clean. Close for me. And I'm going to be applying it to the actual lid. Open for me. And it makes it stand out even more. Turn towards me. And you can use a brush. You can go ahead and use a brush with this. But I like using my finger because it really pushes the eyeshadow in. Perfect. There we go. And once again, just go in with your crease brush and blend that out. If you feel like it went too far, turn towards me. There we go. Perfect. So Yana has like a really bronzy, glowy eye. Now, this has some fallout. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a cotton round, and we're gonna take that very same micellar water, and we're gonna cleanse underneath Yana's eyes because we're gonna get ready to do her concealer. And the reason why you want to cleanse it is because you don't want your concealer and those dark eyeshadows to mix. Look up for me. And also, that's another reason why I don't do concealer right away, is because there is fallout. Turn towards me. There is fallout from your eyeshadow, and it can become messy. And then you have to take everything off and start all over again, and nobody wants to deal with that. I know I don't. So then I'm gonna take that same foundation brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend out the top of the cheekbone, not really underneath the eye. Turn towards me, but just right here. Perfect. You had a hair There we go. Turn towards the camera. Perfect. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do Ayana's concealer. And you guys know I like using the Kofi concealers, and I'm gonna be using 2 different concealer shades. I'm gonna be using the color Koa Kisses and Cinnamon Baby.
And those only at Sephora?
Mm-hmm. And they're only at Sephora, yeah. You can't, unfortunately, can't get them at Ulta. They're only at Sephora. So we're going to be concealing and we're going to be highlighting too at the same time. And I'm using 2 different shades, and it's because obviously one shade is not the exact color that Ayana needs. And before I even go ahead and do that, I'm going to go ahead and do some spot treating on Yana's skin. And I'm going to be using Koa Kisses to do some spot treating. So Yana has a little bit of a spot here. And these dry down. Please know that they dry down. And I'm just touching up any spots that she has. Turn towards me. And I'm only putting it where she has the spots. And you're probably like, this color is lighter, but you'll see what I'm doing. You'll see why I'm going to go ahead and do that. I was about to say, what is this? Turn towards me. Hush, poop. There you go. And remember, these oxidize as well. Turn. So then I'm going to go back in with that same foundation brush. I'm not putting any extra product on it. And I'm just going to go ahead and push and press onto the skin. And it's just covering it. Turn that way. That way. And it just covered any of the blemishes that she had. Turn towards me. And this stops the foundation from being cakey. Poop. What do you want? No. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. And that's just a little trick. And if you feel like you want to do a little bit more coverage, you can still go back with that foundation if you want to. You can go back with the foundation and push and press it into the skin. But I only suggest you doing this in the areas that need coverage. The whole face doesn't need coverage to me. Turn towards me. Yeah, the whole face doesn't need coverage. Just those small little areas. There we go. So now let's go ahead and let's do the concealing of the eyes. I'm going to be using an angled concealer brush to do this. And remember, I used 2 different shades, 2 of those Kofi shades, and I mixed them together. Remember, those concealers oxidize. And we are doing covering and highlighting at the same time, okay? So look up for me. So we're gonna start on the outer corners of the eye, turn towards this way. And I like doing almost a line towards the hairline. And then turn towards the camera. Perfect. And then we're gonna go in the corners of the eye and down the sides of the nose. If this is your first time on my live, you know that I don't like going completely underneath the eye yet, and it's because it causes cakiness, and I'm doing like a little connecting here. Perfect. And remember, these dry down. They're self-setting. Scoop that way. There we go. And we're just going towards her hairline. And this causes like a lift in the eye. Turn towards. We're going down the sides of the nose. Perfect. Turn towards me. Perfect. And so is the camera. There we go. Now, I'm gonna let this sit for a little while. Turn this down probably to 95. There we go. So now I'm gonna go on her chin, because now we're doing the highlighting, and we're still using that same concealer. We're still using those same 2 different shades. Koya Kisses and Cinnamon Baby, and it's from Kofi. And Yana has a round shape face, so the placements are going to be very specific. I'm going above her lip as well because we're adding shape to her face. There we go. Perfect. And now we're going to be going down the center of her nose, or the bridge of her nose to be specific. Oh, I forgot. Perfect. And we're going to be going down the bridge of her nose. Perfect. And this is the highlighted portion. So now that we've done our placement, you guys know I like to take a fluffy brush to do all the blending. I do not like to blend with a sponge just yet, and it's because the sponge has a tendency to pick up a little bit too much product. So I like to go ahead and I like to use a fluffy brush. And I'm gonna go ahead, and we're not gonna do the under eyes, we're gonna do under eyes lash. I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the chin, the upper lip first, her forehead. And I like to blend on the outer perimeters of what I did with the concealer first. And also this stops, like I said, too much concealer being picked up. We're gonna go down the nose, even though we got what? We got a little hair on her nose. There we go. We're just blending. And we want everything to be seamless. That's what we want. So what is this? There we go. So now that we've blended her forehead, her nose, her chin, her upper lip, now we're gonna go ahead and blend out the under eye. So I'm gonna start on the outer edges of the foundation. Concealer that we used. Just the outer parts. Perfect. And like I said, we want to continue to keep the opacity. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my brush, not a lot, but a little bit, into that concealer. Look up for me. And just buff it into the skin. There we go. Look in the camera. And there you have a blended under eye without it being cakey. Turn towards this way. Remember, we're going to be shooting with a camera. The camera that I'm currently using right now to stream is a Sony A7 Mark IV, and I'm using a Sigma 105 millimeter macro lens. And that is the same camera that we're going to actually be using to shoot this beauty look afterwards. And this camera picks up literally everything. Turn towards me. Look up. So. Turn towards the camera. There we go, look up. Perfect. So now we have her concealed. This is when I like to go in next, and I want to do some contouring, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some cream contouring on Ayana. And I'm going to be using a contour stick, and it is by LA Girl. And what shade is this? This shade is deep. And remember, with this particular contour, I don't like to go in with the contour stick right on the skin. And it's because sometimes contour sticks are a little bit too much. Like, they can be too much. So I'm going to be using an actual angle brush to do some contouring. And because Ayana has a round face, we're going to be doing quite a bit of contouring. So, turn that way. We're going to be contouring underneath her cheekbone. We're going to be contouring underneath her jawbone. And we're going to be contouring just right here. And it's to bring shape to her face. And if you pay attention, I flipped the brush upside down. And I'm not going to be going all the way down here. No. We're only going to be going to the edge of where her eye starts. And if you feel like you want to have just a little bit more contour or a deeper contour, you can take a darker shade. I'm going to be using, I'm probably going to mix these two shades together. I'm going to be using another LA Color shadow stick. And I'm going to be using it in the color Groovy. And this is what the shadow stick looks like. Sorry, you can't see. And I'm just going to be blending it upward. And it causes a nice contour, a nice shape to the face. It's not too much. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to contour her jawline as well. And the reason why I like using brushes is because of the control. You can't control it when you are just putting the stick directly onto the skin. This blends everything out at the same time. There we go. Perfect. So now the last thing that we're going to do on this side is we're going to contour near the brow bone, and it's to lift the eye. So I just like to take a little contour and push it towards the hairline. Perfect. Now, one side is contoured, other side not contoured. So let's go ahead and do the other side really quickly. Turn towards me. And we're just going under her cheekbone. And remember, this is supposed to be like a beachy, bronzy type of look. And this is why I'm using like creams to do this. Because sometimes using powders, too much. There we go. Perfect. And this helps blend it out. Let's do this jawline. And then the last thing that we're doing is right here where the end of Yana's brow is. Turn towards me. Perfect. Now, we don't have to go into her hairline, and it's because Yana already has a rounded hairline. Okay, so it already has roundness to it. But what we are going to do is we are going to bronze her skin. And we're going to be using the Soul Body Bronzer. The Soul Body Bronzer in the shade Dark. And we're going to be using an angled foundation brush. It's actually a Bdellium Tools 968 brush. That's what we're going to be using. And remember, you never dip the product right into, you never dip your brush right into the product. Always scoop the product out and put it on a palette. Or if you need to, you could put it on the back of your hand. And what I like about this is it almost has a moussey type of feel to it. Perfect. Turn that way. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bronze her up. Just bronze her. There we go. And don't go too far with the bronzer. You can go a little bit, no smiling. And remember, don't have your client smile, because what happens is this. That way, scoot that way. What happens is this, the cheekbones go up, and when they start smiling, the cheekbones go down. And it brings their face down. It makes their face look droopy. We don't like that. And we are gonna add a little bronzer towards her hairline, because this is definitely where you get bronzed when you are at the beach. Turn towards me. And we're starting from the back. We're almost going on top of the cheek bones to add this bronzer. Perfect. And then we're going to do the hairline. Turn towards the camera. There we go. Perfect. So she looks nice and bronzed. One thing that we did forget to do, and I'm going to go back and do it really quickly, is we actually forgot to contour her nose. Ayana doesn't need a lot of nose contouring, just a little bit of shaping, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm going to go in with a concealer brush, and we're going to actually start the contour. We're going with the same cream contour, and we're going in her actual brow and down the sides of the nose, and then blend, well, not blend yet, we won't blend, but down the sides of the nose. Turn towards me. And we're going in the brow almost. I have to pick up some more of the cream contour. Remember, we're going down the sides of the nose. Turn towards, there we go. And what I like to do next after doing the cream contour, I'm just going to take that same brush that we used to do the concealer and just blend out the contour a little bit. Turn towards me. Perfect. Perfect. So we've done all of our creams, all of our bronzing, contours, all of that. If you need to go back up in, look up for me. And blend these things out, turn towards me. Just blend them out just a little bit. There we go. So that we don't have any line of demarcation. Everything looks nice and blended. Yana looks super, super glowy. So now what I like to do is I like to go ahead and take my pink sponge, and I like to blend the whole entire face out, because we've done all of these creams and we just want to make sure everything is effortless. Look up for me. Turn towards me. And it also takes off any excess foundation or anything that doesn't need to be. Turn towards period. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some setting. We're going to set some of Yana's face because it's super, super glowy at this point, and we don't want it to be overly glowy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use the new e.l.f. Set It Bright Correcting and Brightening Setting Powder. And I'm going to be using it in the color medium tan. And I like this because it stops me from doing a whole bunch of steps. I used this the last time and I really, really like this product. I'm going to show you. It's like a whole bunch of different colors. And what I'll do is I'll pour all of those colors into my hand. And I'll mix all the colors together. And I'll tap off any excess. Have Yana look up. Perfect. And I like to use the sponge to then set the under eye. And we're only setting it pretty much where we went ahead. Ooh, that looks beautiful.
You can see the difference.
Yeah, that looks.
I love powder. it just like brings the face together.
Yeah, turn towards me. Oh, do we have a? We do. Before we set it, she has a look up for me. I think you have. Yeah, you have a piece of hair. There we go. She had a piece of hair. Look up for me. Scoot back that way. There we go. And we're just setting the under eye. And we're trying to keep it in just the place that we did all the highlighting at. Turn towards the camera.
Looking gorge. Sucks I have nowhere to go after this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So we're setting just the center of the forehead. And we're setting the chin. Perfect. And then we're gonna set down the nose. We're definitely setting down the nose. Perfect. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the rest of Yana's face. And we're actually gonna be using a mineralized powder. And we're gonna be using it in Dark Deepest by MAC. And I'm gonna be using a fluffy brush. There we go. Oh yeah, love the warmth, yeah. Hey, Anna. Okay, so we're just gonna be putting it everywhere else. And she doesn't need too much because remember, Yana has combination dry skin. And I like using this mineralized powder because it doesn't do too much. It still leaves her with a glow. And we're gonna go down the sides of her nose, under the nose. Perfect. In the camera. Gorgeous. And I see an area that needs a little bit more powder. So I'm gonna go in with that sponge and go in right there and take care of that. So remember, always check back, check your work. Beautiful, gorgeous. She looks super, super glowy, super dewy. So now we're gonna go in and we're gonna go in with a bronzer. And we're gonna go in with a powder bronzer. And you're like, oh, she already has a bronzer on. Actually, what color is this? This is 50. I'm gonna go in with another. Let's do this, there we go. Sometimes things just need to be a little bit more blended. There we go. Turn towards me. Here, okay. There we go, perfect. So now we're gonna go in with the bronzer. And we're gonna go in with a Milani bronzer. And I've been loving a lot of these Milani bronzers, a lot of their blushes. And we're gonna be going in with the bronzer, their new baked bronzer, and the color is Capri Copper. Yeah, it's not focusing. Sorry guys, I don't know why it's not focusing today. But we're gonna go in with that color. And we're just gonna go right on top of where we bronzed Ayana. So, because remember, this is a really bronzy look that we're going for. Turn to the side. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Turn towards me.
like Mike Tyson. What else? How come I used to do with me? You used to think you could hit me because he was hitting.
Have I tried the Danessa Myricks brand? Yes, I have tried Danessa Myricks brand. She does have some good things that I actually use in my kit. I actually like using her Color Fix mattes. I have like a lot of the colors, like bright neon colors. I have it in black. I like using it for eyeliners. I have a couple of her setting powders that I like to use. So now we're gonna go ahead, bronze the forehead. Perfect. So she looks nice and bronzed. Perfect. So now that she's bronzed, we're gonna go in and we're gonna contour her a little bit more because we used all cream contours. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do some powder contours. I'm gonna be using the MAC Shaped and Sculpt palette. And I'm gonna be using, what color is this? Definitive. I'm going to be using the color Definitive. And if you guys know this is an OG palette. I absolutely love this palette. I think they still have it because, you know, MAC be discontinuing a lot of stuff a lot of the times. So I'm glad that they still have this. But you can't buy it in the individuals. You have to buy it in the whole entire palette, unfortunately. So turn towards this. I'm going to just be doing a little bit of contour. Because remember, we are going to be photographing this look, and makeup takes about 30%. And we're gonna be under her brow, under her chin, and to lift it. Perfect. Turn towards me. And these are cool toned contour shades we're using. Let's talk about that really quick. Bronzers are not to contour. Bronzers are to warm up the skin, okay? Contour is to add shade and depth to the face. Contour should always be a cooler color. Turn towards me. Brow. Perfect. Now we're gonna do a little bit more contouring to Yana's nose. And we're gonna be actually using a different color. We're gonna be using Shadester, which is a lighter color. And we're gonna be using an angled angled brush. There we go. And we're starting in the inner corners of her eye like we did the last time. And we're going down the sides of the nose and blending into the nose. There we go. Turn towards me. Turn towards, there we go. Scoot over that way. There we go. So you're in the center. Perfect. So now we've contoured, we've highlighted. Oh, and that's what I loved about the e.l.f. powder. It has like a highlight to it already. Like, you know how sometimes you're using a setting powder for underneath your eyes, your forehead, the bridge of your nose, your chin, above your lip. It can look too matte. And with this has a little bit of a sheen to it. Some people don't like that, but I actually like it because it looks natural and it actually looks blurring and smooth on the camera. So now the next thing that we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna do some blush. And we're going to be utilizing, of course, Milani Baked bronzers. Like, I love the Milani Baked bronzers. I just love them. And I'm gonna be using it in the color Ciao Bella. It's hard for you to see, but it's like a really pinky color. Make sure you sit up. Sit up. There we go. Perfect. Sorry if you guys are hearing a dog barking. It's a dog that's across the street. So we're going to be starting on the high planes of the cheeks. Remember, no smiling. Perfect. And remember, because this is a bronzy type of look, turn your cheek that way. There we go. Perfect. Turn towards me. And remember, we're starting from the front on the high planes of the cheeks, and we're moving backwards. Perfect. Close the camera. And then we're going to add one more blush. We're going to be using, what color are we going to use? We're going to use Dolce Pink, almost as a highlighter. So we're going to really go on the high planes of the cheeks. And I like this because this looks pretty almost on every person. And you're probably wondering, like, why is she using two different blushes? Blush is the first thing to go. Turn towards me. It is literally the first thing to go. And so I like using a good amount of blush on my clients, on photo shoots, just period. And I think I'm gonna use one more blush. I'm gonna use Dolce Pink again, but this is the new formula Dolce Pink. I just used the old formula of Dolce Pink, and I'm actually gonna use it, let's see. I'm gonna use it almost as a highlight. See, it's a little bit more pinky. It's a little bit more highlighted. So I'm gonna use it completely on the top of the cheeks and actually on her brow. And just to bring everything in. Turn to the, there we go. Perfect. Turn towards me. And this is to bring pretty much everything together. I think we're so used to using like golds and coppers and things of that nature. But because we want Yana to have like a really glowy look, that's what we want. And if you need to really blend everything back, go back in with your bronzer brush, no adding any product, and just blend this out if you feel like it's too much. Turn towards me. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add, let's see. I'm gonna add one more thing because we're not doing any smudging underneath. I mean, we're not doing any eyeshadow underneath Ayana's. We're only gonna be doing it literally just on her eyelids. I'm actually going to be going in and doing a couple of tweaks. And I like to do some extra highlighting since this is a bronzy, glowy type of look. I'm going to be using the Ruby and Millie New York Glowy Face Palette. And it's actually a dupe for the Dior face palette. I have the Dior face palette. It's great, but I like using this just as well. I'm going to be using a small pencil brush, and I'm going to be spraying it with that well people. And the color that I'm using is this like really, really highlighted color here. Turn towards me. And I'm gonna be putting this in the inner corners of Ayana's eye to make it pop. There we go. Turn towards the camera. And it's to add like that hint of, there we go. And we're also going to be going just right here where the bridge of Ayana's nose starts. And this is going to add like a highlight. Then I like to add sometimes the tip of the nose. There we go. And then we're going to be adding this on the upper part of the Cupid's bow, or the Cupid's bow of Ayana's lip. Because remember, this is a really glowy, beachy type of look. So now that we have done that, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to set Ayana's face. I'm trying to decide. Well, yeah, I know what I'll set it with. I'm going to set it with the Scandinavia finishing spray. Sorry, and this is the bridal one. Close for me. And I like to do it in a T and an X. And what this does is it takes down any of the powders. I'm going to go ahead and use my sponge. And I'm going to press and push into Ayana's skin. And like I said, this takes down towards, turn towards me. This takes down any powders. And it melts everything in. It melts everything into the skin. And then I like to do is, I like to spray my sponge. Look up for me. And push it underneath the eye, turn towards me. Okay, perfect. So now this is a super, super glowy look. So now we're gonna put mascara on Ayana. And because this is supposed to be like a beachy look, we're not adding lashes or anything like that. We're just gonna be adding black mascara and, sorry. There we go. And we're going to be using our tried and true pitch black e.l.f. lash extender. That's what we're going to be using. And we're going to be using a disposable wand because remember, we don't want to use the applicator on Ayana because you have to use this on multiple clients. Perfect. Close for me, Ayana. So now what we're doing is we're actually having Ayana close her eye, and I'm lifting up her eyelid so that I could really get the mascara in there. And what I like to do is I like to wiggle, pull, wiggle, pull, wiggle, pull, wiggle, pull. Open for me. There we go. Gorgeous. Turn towards me. Scoot back some. There we go. And this stops the clumping. This technique is the wiggle pull technique, stops it from clumping. It helps the lashes separate. Look up for me. And I'm just gonna go in. There we go, turn towards me. And you know what I'm gonna do to add a little bit of a pop? Turn towards the camera. To add a little bit of a pop, I'm actually gonna go in with a liner color, and I'm gonna go in with like a bronzy liner color. Let's see. Here we go. And this is another LA Colors gel eyeliner, and it's in the color Rose Gold. And always make sure that you sharpen and sanitize your liners, because you want to make sure that everything is clean. So it's sharpen, clean it. And I'm gonna take a 2-ply tissue and just wipe. Just make sure you clean them. Perfect. And now sometimes I like to rub it on the back of my hand just to warm the product up a little bit. Look up for me. And we're going to be going in her waterline. There we go. And it adds like a pop in her eye. It adds even more of a pop. Turn towards me. We're just going in the waterline. There we go. Look at me, really quick. Turn towards me. Okay, perfect. There we go. Look towards the camera. So that added a little bit more of a pop, and you'll be able to see it on camera when we go ahead and we shoot it. You'll be able to see it. So now the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do Yana's lips, and we're going to be, what color do we want to do? Because this is a bronzy look that we're doing on her. I think we're gonna go in with So Rare, and this is a lip liner by Juvia's Place. And remember, we need to sharpen it, spray it, make sure you clean it, because it's all about being sanitary. And that's what it looks like. Sorry, nothing's focusing today. So we're gonna go and we're gonna take a 2-ply tissue and we're gonna blot Ayana's lip, because remember, we went ahead and put that lip mask on her. There we go. Perfect. We put the lip mask on her. Scoot that way. There we go. So we're going to start on the outer corners of her lip. Turn towards me. And these are really creamy. Perfect. And we're not going to really overdraw on Ayana's lip because she doesn't really need it. She already has nice full lips. Turn towards camera. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take another brush, and we're actually going to blend this out. Turn towards the camera. Here we go. We're going to blend this out. Turn towards me. Perfect. And then we're going to take a color that I actually really love, and it's called Caramel Sundae, and it is by Jason Wu. And it's like a nude color. Make sure you spray it before using it. Spray it with alcohol. That is alcohol that I'm using to sanitize. Please use alcohol. You need to be using a minimum of 70% alcohol, people, not 50%, because it's not killing anything. And we're rubbing this on here. And then we're taking a lip brush and we're applying it to Ayana's lips. And what I love about these, and you guys, if you've been on any of my lives before, you know that I love, love, love these. Turn towards me. Because you can use them as a lip, cheek, and eye tint. Close. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Turns. And we're doing more of like a nudie, pinky color on Ayana today. So then what I like to do to add a little bit of dimension, I like to take the Better Off Alone Nude X by Beauty Creation lipstick. And I like to pop it in the center. Remember, we are being sanitary. We are spraying it and cleaning it. That is one thing you will know about me, is I don't play about sanitization. I've had horror stories that happen to me, and I don't want it to happen to my clients. So we're just tapping in the center. Blot for me. Blot for me. And if you feel like, and I can see where I have to clean up on Yana, just go back in and blend those lines out. Here we go. Blend those lines out. And I see underneath Ayana's chin, we have some, turn towards me, lip liner that got underneath. Go this. Okay. Okay. Let go. There we go. Just needed to be blended out. Perfect. So now the very last thing that we're going to be doing is adding gloss onto Ayana's lips. And this is actually my favorite gloss to use. And it is by the Makeup Shack. Let's see where it's at. What did I do with the gloss? Hold on, guys. I have a lot of things on the table. I have a lot of things on this table that I use. Oh, here it is. It's literally right in my face. Okay, so the gloss is Liddy, and it's the Makeup Shack gloss. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on today with this, but we're going to be using it on Ayana's lips. I'm using the same lip brush. And if you guys know, this is literally my favorite, turn towards me, my favorite like lip gloss. It's universal. It looks good pretty much on everyone. There we go. And that's it. That is the look that we're doing on Ayana. A super glowy, like extremely glowy look. And this is like a full foundation, concealer, contour, highlight, bronze, all of those things. It looks really, really pretty, and it's gonna look even more gorgeous on camera. Does anybody have any questions before we go ahead and we transition into, our photo shoot setup? Oh yeah, you definitely look tan. You definitely look bronzed on the camera. It looks really, really pretty. Scoot that way, yeah, scoot that way. It looks really, really pretty, really, really bronzed. Do one more. Perfect. Gorgeous. Does anybody have any questions? Because this is now the photography part that we are literally about to get into, and I'm about to switch everything up. So Yana, you want to get all of your stuff? Perfect. Actually, you can sit there for a second. Any questions, anybody? We're about to set everything up for the photo shoot portion. And for you guys asking, the light that I use for the backdrop is a GVM Great Video Maker light. I'm switching the lights from continuous light to studio light. That is what I'm switching. So I'm switching to strobes at this point. There we go. Perfect. That is what we're going to be switching to. And there we go. And we're actually going to be changing the backdrop color as well. That's what we're going to be doing. Can I grab this? Hold on. Oh, I forgot I can lower this for me to grab it. Perfect. And to answer some of you guys' questions, when it comes to this, I am using a backdrop stand. I almost have pretty much like 2 backdrop stands. Hand me one of those clips over there, Yon. Thanks. Oh, not the dog. What'd you say?
So let me not look.
I'm gonna have you move over here, and I need you to stand over there for me. No, I just need you to come over here to hold this.
I see. I gotcha.
Hold, just hold it. Hold this. There we go. So it doesn't, so it'll stop rolling. There we go. There we go. Put it back up. Okay, you can let go. This probably needs to be up. There we go. Perfect. So now I'm gonna have y'all, because the live is still on, they can still see you, girl.
No, I was looking.
Okay.
Wanna move this?
No, I need you to get your bag
Okay.
and everything off because I'm about to move everything out the way.
All right.
You could put that over here.
Okay.
Move the bag. There we go.
Over there?
Yeah, just put that over there. And we're just changing the set for everything. We're about to do the light. Grab the stool over there. Put the stool over here. You can sit down on the stool.
Let me take this.
Hush, poop.
No, I didn't even think about it, man. Just let it shower.
Right. Sit in the chair for me. Perfect. There we go. So we're just switching from our continuous light to our studio light and backdrop. And the backdrop that we are using is a Savage Universal backdrop. And I forgot what color this is in. I forgot what color that is in. But we're gonna move this out the way. And
The color looks really good with the backdrop. Like the color looks good with the makeup.
oh yeah. The color does look,
I'm seeing my eye.
something is in your eye.
The right one, but it's okay.
Okay. So, nope, that's too low. That's gonna be too low. And we're gonna be using probably this. We're going to be using a 7-inch reflector with a 40-inch grid for the backdrop. That's what we're going to be using. There we go. Perfect. And we're about to switch from, and I don't know how much you guys are going to be able to see. There we go. Is this bright or dim? Perfect. So we're going to be switching from this to this. And let's rotate it. Let's rotate it one more time. There we go. So now you can actually see the model. And y'all know they can see it right here.
Oh, that's so cool. How'd you switch that?
Oh, I just switched the cameras.
Where's the other one?
It's still there.
Oh.
So yeah, everyone can literally see you.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
Okay.
everyone can see you. Now we're gonna switch. You can wave and talk.
Don't really have much to say.
Nah, I don't.
No, that's just me. That's super cool though how you switch that.
Perfect. So now everyone can see you here.
Nice.
Perfect. And now everyone can still hear. Mic in. Perfect. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear, if you guys can hear, if you guys can hear. Tay, are you online? Tay?
I was just looking at
I was
that.
gonna say, Tay, is this you online?
I sent her a TikTok earlier. I wonder if she saw it.
I can't. So I'm about to switch this light, which is our continuous light. Using. And we're gonna switch it to, there we go. Yeah, everyone can see you.
You know, I was looking at those body butters. I actually just got those too.
Oh, did you?
I did, yes. I seen some girl on TikTok that got them really big dollars.
You know what I forgot to do?
A lot of stuff.
Oh, from yeah, girl. I'm always testing out what
They have a lot of stuff there.
at the Dollar Tree. Yeah. I have a lot of stuff. A lot of the things that I have are from there. I'm always testing things out. I've become super cool with one of the managers.
Oh, nice.
Because she knows that I'm a beauty photographer. So she kind of tells me like what's new, what comes out, you know, all of that.
Good stuff.
Like literally all of the good stuff. She tells me all of the good stuff, what's new, what works, what doesn't work, what's popular, which a lot of the times we already know what's popular because we see it on social media. So what's going on right now is I've changed the backdrop. So the backdrop is like a nude brown color because the makeup that we are doing, or the makeup that we did on Ayana, is really, really, really glowy. And what we're doing, it's going to get dark for a little bit, is we're going to be switching. Ooh, it looks really pretty. We're going to be switching from continuous light, which I've been using the Nano Light FS300B as my continuous studio light. There we go. And I have been using my Sony A7 IV with my Sigma. I was about to say, what is that? That's the dog. I was like, what is that that just tried to grab me? It's the dog. Velvet likes to jump up and down now, and I don't know why she likes to do that. Oh, well, I do. She's trying to get her mommy's attention. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to get my attention. But that is what I have been utilizing to stream with. Now, there we go. Look at me. No, scoop up like you were. Scoop back up. There we go. So now we're going to be using an Interfit Honey Badger. No. Yes, the Interfit Honey Badger. This is 320 watts. They don't make this brand anymore. Unfortunately, they went out of business during COVID, which makes me really sad, but it is what it is. And we're actually gonna switch this from silver. Take that out for me. you needed to pull the thing down so you don't.
Oh, this?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
So instead of the silver side, we're going to be using the white side of our collapsible reflector. And it's because we don't want it to be overly highlighted on Yana's skin. She's already quite highlighted. She's already quite glowy. She's already quite bronzy. And so we don't want to overly do it. And this is just the setup. You're starting to see the setup. It go from makeup, application to studio. Put that in there for me. There we go. You got it in there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, perfect. So now let's move this out of the way. Let me know, where is this hitting you at? Is it hitting you in the middle? Where is it? No, I don't need you to move. I'm gonna move it. So where is it hitting you?
High, I think.
Is it high?
I think. Well, I don't know. Can you tell? I feel like it is okay.
We'll be able to see it once I start shooting. And I'm gonna move this out of the way. There we go. No, that's good. I got it. Whoops. Sorry, that was a water that fell. There we go. Perfect. So now, let's get this water that just fell off the floor. Now we can go ahead and test. Smooth this. Stop, Velvet. Mommy is, there we go. Now we're going to test out the light. First. And I think I want to add a grid. And I don't know if this is hitting you like it should, but we shall see. There we go. So now we're on before we get started to finish what I need. Doing remote shooting. Let's get our settings right. Our settings are going to be f13, 1/100, and our ISO is going to be 100. What are we seeing? Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm probably going to scoot over the... What's wrong, Pooh? Are you okay? I'm going to scoot over the light. Or actually, Yana. What's the matter? Something must be bothering her face. Are you okay? Are your allergies bothering you?
Move right.
Scoot over that way so I can see, and scoot this over as well. And I may have to actually lift this up. Okay. And I'm gonna have you scoot closer to me, believe it or not. Okay. So I'm gonna need, can you click where the TikTok live is? Use the, yeah. It's the red one. Click that for me. Don't close out of it.
No,
Just click on the icon.
Right here?
Yes, just make sure you don't click out. There we go. Perfect. So I can actually see what's being seen. Okay. Let's take a look. Click where it says camera to the right. Click up there. Yep. You see where it has an eye icon in the middle? The eye. Go back to camera. Go to the right. That click right there. Oh no, you can't. Okay. You cannot do that for a second. Okay, click to the left.
This one?
Yes. Click where it says camera. Camera. Yana. No. The one you just opened up.
Oh, I see, right here?
Yes. Click on that. It should be the down. Oh no.
That's all that's left.
Okay, that's all that's left. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Click out of that.
We're just gonna apply or cancel.
Just click out of it. The X. Yeah. I want you to click the number. The numbers at the bottom. To the left. To the right, excuse me. Right.
Oh, this?
Yeah, yes. Click that, and it should say pause live. Stop.
Pause?
Yep, pause it really fast. Pause. Something is bothering my child. There we go. Let's see what it looks like. Poot, are you okay? You all right? You okay? Something bothering you? Something hurting you? Are you hurt? You hurt? You hurt? Look at mommy. You hurt? It's okay. Okay. I feel like it's, how is the light pointing to you?
I feel like it's not directly on my face.
So that's what I'm saying.
And then, like, I feel like it's, like, maybe a little bit more to the left. That's, like, yeah, pretty direct.
Okay.
Pretty centered.
And let's make it close to you. Okay. Let me see if I can see. See what it looks like. Okay. It's dark. So now let's see. Okay, good. Now it's directly just on you.
Good.
Click the capture one so I can see what it looks like. At the bottom icon.
Doing that with my left hand is just horrible. This one?
The one next to it.
This one.
Yeah. So I can see what it looks like. Okay.
Look at my blemishes. You want TikTok?
No, sit for a second so I can see. This may be a little too.
Should I move this? Over there? Okay.
No, you need this bounce. I'm trying to see where the bounce is. The bounce is there. Okay, that's where the bounce is. I think I want to try a different modifier. Go back to TikTok. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to decide, guys, what modifier that I want to go ahead and do. So I don't know if I really like this modifier. I don't know. It's okay. It's not really giving me anything. I thought it would probably make you even more glowy, but I think maybe me adding this, I didn't need to add it. Let's see. I don't want to break it. Okay. Let's see what this looks like now. Let's see what it looks like now. Okay, so now it's too blown out. So let's take Yana, take it down. Okay, click capture one so I can see it. Okay, it's too blown out. Nope, we don't want to do 14. Turn towards the camera. Okay, it's still blown out. And we're ISO 100. It's because it bless you.
Thank you.
So I think we want to take the back light down. Bless you. Okay. There we go. I think I want to lower this though, just a little bit. Because not the light, I'm talking about this. I'll lower this. There we go. Go back to TikTok for me. Okay, there we go. Now, I think we're pretty much at where I want it to be. So, no straightforward, give me all angles. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Okay. So the lighting is where we want this to be. Okay, so let me explain to you guys what is going on. So we have our key light, which is our Godox beauty dish, and it has a silver interior. The backdrop is a Savage Universal backdrop. I forgot what color this is. And then we actually have another secondary light, and it is a Interfit Honey Badger light, just like the key light is. The key light is on 8.5, and the backlight is on 6.5. Yeah, so this is 8.5. The backlight is on 6.5. So that's what's going on. And then we have a bounce. I'm trying to think. Yeah, we have a bounce. We have a white bounce on Ayana. And you know what? I did want to add something else. We have a white bounce, and it's bouncing off of her back onto it. So this is what you call either a clamshell or this is a butterfly. So give me angles. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Not too chin, not too far up. Yeah, you see your chin was too far up. And don't, remember, you always have to stay in the center of this. So when it comes to a beauty dish, your model always needs to stay in the center. Like you should be in the center. Perfect. Beautiful. Chin down just a little. There we go. Perfect. Gorgeous. And you're seeing two different things. You're seeing the JPEG come up, and then you're also seeing the raw images come up. That's what you're looking at. Gorgeous. Mouth closed just a little. Beautiful. Let's make this go down just a little bit. There we go. And scoot closer. There we go. Chin down. Gorgeous. So I've pulled back so that we can go ahead and get on the rule of thirds, because I like to do that a lot of the times, and it's in case a brand wants to go ahead and write anything on the left or the right. So remember, no armpits.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So if you're gonna do that, hands like this. There we go. Stay right there. So we're gonna get close. Stay right there. So remember, not too far up on the eyes, because it looks like your eyes are rolling to the back of the head, and we don't want that. Gorgeous. So now give me some of the, but use both hands. And don't put them on the actual eyelid. Actually try to put them above the eyebrow. And just try one hand at a time, actually. Don't look too far up. Stay right there. Gorgeous. I can't see. If anybody is saying anything, I can't see the chat. Okay. Stay there. Don't look too far that way. You see where our finger is at? Stay right there. Breathe through the mouth. Try a different pose. Chin down. So now I want you to turn, what's your best side? And then I want you to turn your back to me and give me a, there we go. Not too far, there we go. And remember, we gotta stay in the middle of the light, there we go. Chin down. So remember, always give the, yeah. And turn towards the light some, there we go. Because look in the camera, you see how you are you're out of the light. So just turn, there we go. Stay there. So look in the, you can see you're hiding your chin just a little too much. Bring your shoulder down just a little bit so we could still see your chin. Stay right there. Perfect. Okay, turn towards me because I'm gonna be getting really close. Okay. We're gonna be doing macro. We'll be done. So we're really up close. So that's how close we are. So just be careful with raising your chin up. And it's because we are going up your nose and we don't want to do that. And give me angles, whatever your best side is. Perfect. Super, super glowy. Now we're gonna get into macro. So we're gonna get super, super close. What side is your best side? Okay, stay there. Eyes down. Stay right there, eye to me. So that's what they're looking at and that's what they're seeing. Okay, now turn and give me all of those. And I need to bump up my ISO just a little bit. Chin up just a little. There we go. ISO is a little too high. Take the ISO down just a little. Take your hand down for me. Chin up. There we go. So now you can see like all the glowiness, the textures of the eye, all of that. I'm gonna get even closer. So I'm gonna get your eye. Turn, give me an angle. See how close we are. Take the ISO up one more. Stay there. Eye towards me. I'm gonna try it one more time. Give me an angle. And not eyes down, eyes towards the camera. Stay there. Chin up. Look up. Just a little, not too much. There we go. Stay there.
I see.
So this gives us enough room to crop. So if we wanted to just crop everything and just keep Ayana's eye, we literally can by doing this. And this is literally macro. So now let's get some cheek. Let's get some cheek shots. Chin up. So remember, tilt to the side. There we go. And turn your head this way. There we go. Chin up. Actually, tilt your head tilt your head forward. Tilt back that way. Put that way. There we go. Perfect. So if you wanted to get just cheek shots, you could to capture the highlight of Ayana's cheek. You can go ahead and do that. Perfect. So now I'm going to scoot back and I'm going to have you do your best 10 poses. 10. Oh, let me take down the ISO. Let's take the ISO down. One more. 10. Here we go. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4.
Is it still live right now?
Go click the live where it says go live. At the bottom to the, yes, click that.
Go just to be live.
Yeah.
Studio?
What's going on?
I think it's still going. It says it right here. The time's still going up.
Okay, is the time still going?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
perfect. Because I'm like, what the heck? Scroll up for me. I hate when the JPEG turns it. You scroll too far. Go up that one. Stop. That one.
This one?
Yeah, but the raw one. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, go back to the live for me. Sorry, guys. Sometimes we can't, because the live is on, I can't fully see what the image looks like. But this is it. This is what a bronzy, glowy look looks like for Ayana. And this is what it looks like photographed. We chose more of a background that was closer to her skin tone. We wanted to do something to where it made it look a lot more beachy. Like I said, I used one key light, and I used the Godox Beauty Dish in silver. And then I used a secondary light, which is actually behind Ayana. And both of my lights are Interfit lights, and they're Honey Badger. Are they the honey? Yes, they're the Honey Badger lights. And then I have a 7-inch grid with I have a 7-inch reflector with a 40-inch grid on there to make the light even more directional. Almost looks like it's the sun behind her. And then, like I said, I have this white bounce underneath her Does anyone have any questions about the light setup? I am using a Sony a7 IV with a Sigma, with a Sigma, yeah, that's weird. With a Sigma 105 millimeter macro lens. That is what I'm using. And I'm using an interfit trigger. So that's what I did to go ahead and get these shots for Ayana. That was an accident. I did not mean to shoot that down there, but that was accidental. But if no one else has any questions, then we're gonna go ahead and end this live. I thank everybody for coming on to the live today. It took us a little bit less than 3 hours to do this live, which is actually good because sometimes it takes like a lot longer than that. But other than that, that's it, everybody. Thank you for stopping on the live. Ayana, where can everyone find you?
Ayana Noel _ well, that's on Instagram. IYANANOELL _ Yes.
And are you just on Instagram?
Yes. Yeah, really just Instagram. I have a TikTok, but I just repost a bunch of stuff. But if you want to see my repost, it's Ayana Noel Gray.
And then also, Ayana is signed to Bella Agency. So if there are any brands that need a model, she is located here in the Los Angeles area. So you can contact her agent at Bella Agency. Me, I am Tavia Garland. I am your Los Angeles commercial beauty photographer, product photographer also, which I'm going to show you guys how to do some product photographer shots in the next coming weeks. But I'm also a professional makeup artist. I've been a makeup artist for 20 years, licensed cosmetologist for 20 years. And where you guys can find me is evolving_images. That is here on TikTok. That's on Instagram. And that is on Facebook as well. And pretty much everywhere is evolving_images. And my website is www.evolvingimagesinc.com. If you want to go ahead and book a photo shoot, or if you want to book a makeup session with me, you can go ahead and do so. But other than that, I really thank everyone for coming to this live. I will see you guys next week. Bye. So that's how you cut the live off.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.